Hello there. This is once again Living Life as Lhasa, and I'm really happy that I have my buddy Will Brady over here. We're going to do a little bit more give and take over here, and it's going to be a little bit of a different topic this time. And Will, you want to take it away?
Sure, we were going to talk about Jersey because we're both. You had grandparents from Jersey, right?
Yes.
Patterson.
Patterson and Boonton.
Okay, yeah, mine were from Detroit and Boston. So I
Wow.
always thought, I moved here in '88 when I was 8 years old. So I always thought of Jersey as kind of a little alien, but my home too. And I was a delivery guy for years. So I know we mentioned Bergen, Passaic, Essex, Hudson, and Morris counties. I'm pretty familiar with those.
5 counties. You got Morris County there. That's one of 2 counties in New Jersey that's entirely encircled by New Jersey. That's Morris and Somerset County. Every other county in the state borders another state. Just a little bit of trivia over there. Okay.
So, those were the areas I pretty much know. And another thing I wanted to talk about is the water towers in that area.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
2 that I can think of. There's Farallon,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's the one up in Wanacue.
Okay, right.
And then I think there's one at William Patterson.
Big one in William Patterson, yeah.
So, those are, like you think of a water, everyone sees a water tower, but no one says anything. It's...
Unless it's in your backyard, like in Farallon.
Farallon.
It's right in the middle of a neighborhood.
Yeah.
But what came first, the water tower or the neighborhood? I researched this a long time ago. The water tower was there first.
Really?
Yes, then the homes were built around it.
Wow.
Yep.
That's amazing. And then I have a bunch of other notes for topics.
Go ahead,
I talk
come on.
about Stephen Crane, the writer Stephen Crane. He wrote The Red Badge of Courage when he was 24. That's like a summer reading book.
Wow.
And in Patterson, there's like housing projects that are called the Stephen Crane Housing Projects.
See that? Man, you know.
And his book was The Red Badge of Courage, which a red badge of courage means to get shot. So I thought that
Hence
was very...
the red, yeah.
In dangerous housing project, the old Stephen Crane.
Yeah.
And then I thought Port Newark was interesting.
Port Newark, yeah.
Used to go pick up cheese there. Forever Cheese was a company in Port Newark.
Yeah.
So I found that interesting, seeing the containers,
Mm-hmm.
the containers that came in. And then I have 2,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Mm-hmm.
That was,
Jules Verne.
is that who that was?
Yeah.
So I wrote that down because everything starts with a book and then footage. So like this right now is footage.
Mm-hmm.
And this all comes from a book, like from my journals. So
Right.
that's, so.
The Will Journals, yes.
Yeah, so I think this is a great avenue.
I love talking about this stuff because in Ramapo College, double major of political science and history, I'm a Jersey geek as far as geography and history and all that of New Jersey. I have a book. My parents, whatever, had it when I was 6 years old. It was, I guess a lot of towns put this out, but this was Hawthorne's. It was called the Tercentenary of New Jersey. New Jersey was a colony formed in 1664. This was 1964. So it was 300 years, hence tercentenary. And it's all about all about New Jersey and the towns and all that and everything. And yeah, that got me started.
Nice.
Yep.
The other thing was small airports. You got West Caldwell,
Yep.
Teterboro, and then you have the one in Pequannock. I think those are just fascinating.
Yeah, Teterboro. Yeah, the one in West Caldwell, they renamed that, I think, the Essex County Airport just like recently.
Right.
Yeah. Yep.
I knew someone who had a small plane, and they're like, "Hey, you want to take my plane? We'll go around the Statue of Liberty," and I declined because I didn't want to risk it.
Yeah. And there's another one too up at West Milford, much smaller, Greenwood Lake.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Of course, you have the highways around here. You have Route 17, Route 4, and Route 23.
Mhm.
Those are all highways with stores on them.
Yes.
And they run,
They call them, there's a word for that now, stroads. They're like a true road is like, doesn't have any like stores on it or anything like a Route 80. And then you have a street And if you kind of make an amalgam of both of those things,
Wow.
your Route 17, it's a
Wow.
road. It's a
Wow.
street and a road.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah. They're not that cool to drive on.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
The other thing was the movie Taxi Driver.
Taxi Driver.
There was
Scorsese.
De Niro when he was
And,
young,
yes.
and was it Jodie Foster? He lives
Yes.
on Hopper Ave in Fairlawn.
Oh,
in
is
the
that what-
movie.
Oh, that's right.
In the-
Yes, I
So
forgot
I
about
always,
that.
yes,
Yeah.
I always.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. Oh my God.
So.
Travis Bickle, right? Travis Bickle.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hopper Ave in Fairlawn.
That's right. Opera. I feel that.
So.
Oh man, I love that trivia. What else you got?
So, and then I was thinking, with the journals, when I started them at college, when I was a freshman, I was pulling from my childhood. Everything that was coming out on the paper was from the early 80s when I was little. And now I'm in my 40s, and it seems everything I'm journaling is from my 20s. So that seems to be the pattern in that.
Oh yeah. 20s are big for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know the cigarette brands.
Oh, all that. Yeah.
That was another. So you got now more True Basic Kent, Marlboro Camel, Salem, and Newport. That's like a B flat, like a trumpet player will warm up
Yeah, well, that's
with
stuff,
right? A B flat concert
Oh,
scale.
on.
Like I can warm up with the cigarette
Yeah.
brands, which is a dying,
Yeah.
now it's all the vapes, but they're like memory sticks. Like I can remember, in my 20s I smoked a lot. I could,
Me too.
I can remember what brand I had and where I was. That's the significance of that nicotine.
Wow.
The cut, the pack, and
Oh,
where
yeah.
you were, because I would always switch brands. So I thought.
Yeah, very tactile. Having
Yeah,
a pack of cigarettes.
you were smoking Newports, or you had
Yeah.
Parliaments.
Oh no, Newport was a biggie for me.
What's your favorite record?
Musical record.
Yeah.
Oh man, I would have to say, wow, that's really really tough. But I would have to go with. I have to go with two. Okay, so let's say I'm lined up against the wall and somebody has a machine gun after me. I have to say, okay, and I mean, safely. I have lots of others, but if I had to pick two, I'm going to say the Beatles, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band.
Okay, I knew you were going to say Beatles.
The Moody Blues, Days of Future Past.
Okay.
Those are two over there, and I got like 1,000 more.
Yeah, those are the top two.
But
I
I
would,
have to say that.
I would have to say Moon Dance by Van Morrison. I grew up on that.
Can't go wrong with Van.
Hearing, all 10 songs are hits.
Yeah, Van the Man.
Yeah, I watch a lot of documentaries lately. I saw the Paul Rubens, Pee Wee Herman.
Oh, yes.
1986 to 1990, Superstar. Started in 81, putting on, they said, you can use the upper room at midnight and put on your thing, and he said there were 99 people in the stands, and they knew they were onto something, and everyone knows.
He was all before he became famous. He was all over the place. He was on the Gong Show.
Oh, really?
With another woman.
Yeah, he was the Native American guy.
All that stuff. Yeah,
true
I love Pee
performer.
Wee.
Yeah, me too. Yeah,
Yep.
true performer. And then I watched, which I didn't like as much, was Arnold Schwarzenegger. I saw the Sly Stallone, which was good because I grew up on Rocky. I remember saying to my dad, "Would Rocky have to pay to go into the swim club?" My father would go, "Of course he'd have to
Rocky.
pay," because I thought he was just Rocky 3. He was just above.
Everybody has their
above
favorite Rocky.
Above humanity.
I like 3. So Clever Lang.
Yeah, clever.
Yeah.
So the Jordan and Pippen one, that was pretty interesting.
Documentaries.
Yeah, documentaries are great. This is kind of like a documentary.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
It's all about,
So, I know. Another thing is one of the art pieces I like is the number 53 with a foot sign, which represents the 53-foot tractor trailer, which is indigenous to New Jersey. So the 53, they all say 53 on them.
Yeah.
So I went up to one time and I took a photograph of it. I printed it out in Walgreens, just the number 53.
Yeah.
Going
There's
back-
certain numbers that we like.
Yeah, going back to
I like
Port
that too.
Newark.
Yeah.
The tractor trailer, which runs
didn't know that. Well, I'm gonna. You talked about numbers and we talked about roads before. I'm gonna give you a little bit of trivia here. Your interstate highways, they're numbered. Okay, there's a reason. There's a rhyme and a reason for the way that they're numbered. So, two-digit interstate highways like Route 80, Route 95. Okay, if it's an even number, it means that it's an east-west, west-east road.
Right.
Even number. Odd number, Route 95, north-south,
Right.
south-north. Okay. A spur road, like Interstate 280, that comes off of Route 80.
Yeah.
Okay, and then it ends up out in the Meadowlands and the New Jersey Turnpike.
Right.
It's an even number because it's a spur road, and it has 80 because it's a spur off of Route 80, so it's 280. Not a spur road, but a letter C or a backwards C
Mm-hmm.
interstate, like 287. It's an odd number, 3 digits, like a spur road, but an odd number.
Wow.
That's how you get that 495.
Wow.
Yeah, not spur roads, but kind of like I like to say, like a C or a backward C.
Wow.
Anyway, a little bit of trivia there.
I just know jug handle.
That's a New
and
Jersey thing.
cloverleaf.
Yeah, and cloverleaf. Yeah.
I would always call it a pretzel. We'd have to go down to down by Weehawken and stuff. It's like a pretzel.
Down there, and there used to be a famous cloverleaf right in smack dab in the middle of Paramus by Garden State Plaza, Route 17 and Route 4.
Uh-huh.
That was the famous cloverleaf.
Right. Yeah. From above the bird's eye view.
Mm-hmm. They built that thing with the flyovers and all that. Great. They did it fast and all that and everything. The only thing is, you got the big squeeze because 17 south and all that from there, it goes down to 2 lanes from 3.
Right.
So it's still a mess.
And then the other documentary I saw, David Chase, the guy who did Sopranos.
Mhm.
And the reason I like that guy is he never smiles.
Yeah.
So he's
just
my kind of guy.
poker face.
Yeah, he's always.
Yeah.
And then he came up with his show,
Chase.
which is not rural Iowa. It's Jersey. It's New York, New Jersey.
Oh,
And he
yeah.
did very well with that.
And he's a guy that
He's Boonton connections, right?
he
Boonton?
does, yeah. And he anglicized his name Chase. I forget what the real it's an
Yeah,
Italian
I
name.
did know that.
Yeah.
So, I pretty much hit all my points. What was that thing? The half road, half highway? Or
Oh, a strode.
a strode.
A strode.
Strode. Sound like
And as far as like county laws and state laws and local laws and all that, there's only supposed to be X amount of curb cuts on these stroads.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so like let's say Route 4, Route 17,
Yeah.
Route 22 down in Union County and all that, Route 10 in Morris County. But for whatever reason, like Paramus and all that, they went way over what the limits are
Yeah.
for the
Strodes.
yeah, on those stroads, yeah. The curb cuts, curb cut is where it's a cut in the curb to
Yeah.
go to the store and all that. But, it goes a traffic nightmare,
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Route 17 and Route 4 is like New York City to and it ends to by that water tower
Yeah.
kind of in Fairlawn.
Yeah.
You get the Route 4. And 17 is pretty much
Connects with 17
well,
in New York
that's
State.
Lyndhurst, and then
Yeah.
it goes way up to.
Yeah, it was originally called Route 2, Route 17.
Oh, really?
Yeah, before my time, but that's what it was. And Route 208, which was seen as a continuation of Route 4. Originally, and when I was a kid, it was on maps. 208 was supposed to go up through the Skyline Mountains and everything, the Watchung Mountains, Skyline Mountains, and more or less kind of parallel Skyline Drive, go all the way up into New York State.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was going to hook up over there, but thankfully that fell through.
Yeah.
That
I
was
like how
cool.
Skyline Drive has that sign when it's snowy. They put
Oh,
the
yeah.
flap over it. Yeah.
Got to take Ridgewood Ave. I mean, not Ridgewood, Ringwood Ave.
Ringwood Ave. Yeah. I spent a lot of time up there, the Wanacue area. In 2021, 2022, I
Mm.
did a lot of stuff out of
Interesting.
Wanacue
And did you ever wonder why that last stretch of 287 from Montville
Montville.
to the New York border in Mawa, why it was cut all through the mountains and all that and everything?
Right.
That's because that highway was on the books for decades, the last piece of 287, but the towns it was going to pass through, they didn't want it Okay, it's going to pass through Wayne. I know that, and I have old Hagstrom maps where you can see like the dotted line where the highway was going to go. So it was decided to go through not the path of least resistance, but path of least resistance as far as towns and all that. So they blasted through the mountains.
Yeah.
And when the highway was built but not opened, I was living in Glenrock, and I used to ride my bicycle up there, and I ride my bicycle on the highway.
Right.
Yep, it's pretty cool.
And we just lost the Sheraton Crossroads. That was from '88 to 2025. My father was there when 9/11 happened. He was doing,
Really?
Yeah, he was. That's where I said,
you
"Where
see it?
were you?" Yeah, he was at the Sheraton Crossroads.
Really?
Which was a great building.
I was never.
I was in there a couple times.
Yeah. That was the old Ford plant there.
Right.
Yeah, that was the Ford plant, and that Ford plant originally, before my time, or maybe I was a toddler, was in Edgewater,
Oh wow.
and they moved it to Mahwah.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
Edgewater.
Yeah.
Metsua Market. Is
Oh
over
yeah, all
there.
that. Yeah.
Uh,
But yeah, I mean, it was some building. I never thought it fit in with like Mahwah and the mountains.
yeah,
and
I have a
State
picture of
Forest,
it.
you
A
know.
picture of State Line Diner, and you
But-
can see the
Yeah, it's sad. It's sad when
yeah
these things happen.
Crossroads. Yeah.
Yeah, just like
Nabisco.
Nabisco. When I
Yeah,
see that, it's like looking at an amputated limb. Not
Well,
seeing
yeah,
Nabisco.
that's Nabisco.
Ah, man.
So, but you know, so you get.
So you think we got 15, 20
I think
minutes in
we
here?
got
We
at
do.
least. Yeah. So, all right, good. Good to
Got
see
it.
you again.
All right, good to see you, and congratulations on your nuptials. All the
Oh,
best to
thank you
and
very much.
Jessica.
Thank
God
you.
bless you both.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, bud.